Picture this. You're so excited to see the new blockbuster everyone's talking about, but when you get to the theater, you're turned away. Not because you don't have a ticket, but because you use a wheelchair.
Wow.
It's hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
But this was the reality for many Americans before the ABA.
The Americans with Disabilities Act.
Exactly, back in 1990.
It's amazing how much has changed.
Really is. We're diving deep today into the history of the ADA, and, you gave us this fantastic audio documentary to work with.
Yes.
It's incredible to hear these stories and really understand the journey.
It's not just a single moment in time, is it?
But at all. The documentary really shows how it was this long evolution of advocacy and honestly changing attitudes about what disability even means.
A lot of people don't realize how deeply ingrained the prejudice was.
Yeah, like for a huge chunk of American history, people with disabilities were basically shut out of public life.
Systematically excluded.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about things like ugly laws. Ugly laws. I'm not kidding. These laws actually barred people considered unsightly from being in public spaces at all.
That's appalling.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just horrifying to think that was considered okay.
It really shows how deep the fear and misunderstanding ran.
And it wasn't just about appearances either.
No.
It was this whole idea that disability was somehow a threat.
Like people with disabilities couldn't contribute to society.
Right, and that leads us to this really dark chapter,
Oh.
the whole eugenics movement.
Oh, yes. The documentary does a good job of exploring that.
It's terrifying. This belief took hold in the early 1900s, and it promoted this idea that people with disabilities were a danger to the human race.
A danger that needed to be controlled.
Exactly, and they took it to some really disturbing extremes.
Like forced sterilization.
I was just about to say that the Supreme Court case, Buck v. Bell, in 1927,
Oh, yes.
they actually upheld forced sterilization.
As if it was for the good of society.
That's just unbelievable.
A truly horrifying example of the thinking at the time.
It really makes you think about how far we've come. But then again, how easily these ideas can take root.
And institutionalization was rampant, too.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. It was seen as the solution, just put people away.
The documentary reveals just how awful the conditions were in many of these institutions.
It's heartbreaking.
It really is a truly tragic chapter.
But then World War II happens.
Yeah, that felt like a real turning point.
All these veterans returning home with disabilities.
And they weren't going to be sidelined.
Right. They'd served their country, and they were determined to live full lives.
Normal lives.
Exactly. And that really challenged the existing narrative.
The story of Tim Nugent is a great example.
Oh, I loved that part of the documentary.
He was a disabled veteran himself.
And he developed this incredible program at the University of Illinois to support students with disabilities.
Think about all the accommodations we have today. Ramps, accessible transportation modified housing.
Things we take for granted now.
Tim Nugent was a pioneer in making those things a reality.
He really changed the way we think about accessibility.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
The documentary also shares some very personal stories, like Mary Lou Breslin.
Yes. She contracted polio as a child.
And she talks about how she was literally carried up and down stairs by football players in high school because there were no ramps.
Imagine that.
It's hard to even fathom.
It really shows the everyday barriers that people with disabilities face.
And she was even denied entry to a movie theater because she used a wheelchair.
Whoa.
Her friend was the one who pointed out that it was a civil rights violation.
It seems so obvious now.
I know, right? It's like that realization was a turning point for her.
It mirrored what was happening in the broader movement.
That denying access was discrimination.
A profound shift.
And that brings us to the rise of disability activism itself.
The Center for Independent Living in Berkeley.
What a force they were, challenging those societal norms head on.
Ed Roberts was a true visionary.
He really rejected that medical model of disability. The idea that it was something to be fixed.
Right. Instead, he championed the social model.
Which says that the real limitations are created by environmental and attitudinal barriers.
It was a total game changer.
And then there was Section 504 of the 1973 Rehabilitation Act.
A huge victory.
It prohibited discrimination in federally funded programs.
But the documentary points out something really important.
What's that?
That it was largely ignored until activists took action.
So much of this change was driven from the ground up.
That's often how it goes with social justice movements.
You pass the law, but then the real work begins.
Enforcing it, implementing it, keeping the pressure on.
And ADPT really took that to heart.
Americans disabled for accessible public transit.
They were known for their incredible acts of civil disobedience.
Non-violent but powerful.
That image of them crawling up the steps of the Capitol building.
A Capitol crawl.
It's iconic.
It really captured the nation's attention.
And forced lawmakers to confront the reality of exclusion,
Do you think you would have had the courage to do that?
to participate in something like that.
It's a powerful question.
It makes you realize how dedicated these individuals were.
And the challenges they were willing to overcome.
It's a story that deserves to be told and understood.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're doing here today.
Unpacking this incredible history.
And seeing how it continues to shape our world.
It's a journey worth taking.
It really is. And speaking of journeys, we'll pick this back up in part 2.
Matt, wait.
It's incredible to think about adoptee and their actions.
Yeah.
They really weren't afraid to push the boundaries.
To make some noise.
And in doing so, they forced people to pay attention.
To confront the injustice.
But while adoptee was out there raising awareness,
Right.
there were these other groups working tirelessly behind the scenes.
To craft the actual legislation.
Exactly.
Mm.
The documentary highlights the Disability Rights Education and Defense Fund.
The DRDF.
Yeah, they played a vital role.
Absolutely. They took those demands from the activists.
And translated them into legal language.
They really understood the complexities of the law.
It's amazing how all these different groups came together.
Activists, lawyers, policymakers,
And then, of course, there's President George H.W. Bush.
an unexpected ally.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Bush was a Republican,
You're known for his conservative views.
but he really championed the ADA.
It surprised a lot of people.
Why do you think that was?
Well, the documentary suggests that Bush's personal experiences played a role.
With disability.
Yeah, his wife Barbara was a passionate advocate for literacy.
And one of their sons had dyslexia.
They also lost a young daughter to leukemia.
So they had firsthand experience with these issues.
It likely gave him a deeper understanding of the challenges.
It's a good reminder that personal stories have power,
They can really shape our perspectives.
even influence political decisions.
Is that human connection?
And so on July 26th, 1990, the ADA was signed into law.
A monumental achievement.
It extended those anti-discrimination protections to so many areas.
Employment, transportation, public accommodations.
It was a watershed moment.
For the disability rights movement?
But the documentary makes it clear that the fight wasn't over.
No, in some ways it was just beginning.
Right, the passage of the ADA was just the first step.
There were still so many battles to be fought.
The ADA didn't come with a dedicated budget,
It was an unfunded mandate
which meant that people with disabilities had to fight to make sure it was actually implemented.
to hold businesses and institutions accountable.
We had to file lawsuits, complaints,
Engage in endless advocacy.
and that's where the ADA generation comes in.
Those who grew up with the ADA,
They have a different perspective.
higher expectations.
They're not willing to settle.
The documentary interviews several members of the ADA generation.
Like Felicia Thompson.
She talks about how she always had an aide in school.
And accommodations were just part of her experience.
It was just how the world worked
It's a generational shift.
in attitudes and expectations.
But Thompson also points out something interesting.
What's that?
This whole super crip phenomenon.
Oh, yeah, the idea that some people with disabilities are celebrated for overcoming challenges.
While others are still marginalized,
It can be a problematic narrative.
it creates this pressure to be exceptional.
To be a poster child for the community,
And the documentary also features Anita Cameron.
who was heavily involved with ADAPT.
She speaks really powerfully about healthcare.
It's still a major battleground.
Even today,
The fight for equitable healthcare access is far from over.
it's about recognizing that disability doesn't mean you should be denied care.
Or have your treatment options limited.
It's about the right to make informed decisions about your own health.
Cameron's perspective is so important.
It highlights how much work still needs to be done,
And the documentary also touches on institutionalization.
which is still a reality for many,
Despite the ADA,
and subsequent legal victories, like the Olmstead decision.
it affirmed the right of individuals with disabilities to live in community settings,
But we still have a long way to go.
to provide adequate community-based support.
And end the reliance on institutions.
It's an ongoing process.
And then there's this intersection of disability with race, gender, and other identities.
The concept of disability too white
It highlights the need for greater diversity and representation.
within the movement itself,
It's a reminder that we need to be inclusive.
and recognize the unique needs of all individuals within the disability community.
The ADA was a huge step forward,
But the journey towards true equality and inclusion is far from over.
and that's what we'll explore in our final part,
Looking at how the ADA generation is carrying the torch forward.
and shaping the future of disability rights. We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into the ADA.
It's been a powerful journey through history.
It really has. And, we've talked about the activists who fought for change, the lawmakers who crafted the legislation.
Right.
But what about the ADA generation?
Those who grew up with these protections.
Exactly. They're not just inheriting this legacy, they're shaping it.
It's amazing to see their energy and their commitment.
What stands out to you about their perspective?
I think it's their refusal to settle.
For anything less than full inclusion.
Exactly. They've grown up with the ADA, so the idea of being excluded or denied opportunities just doesn't compute for them.
It's not part of their world.
Right. And they're also pushing the boundaries of what it means to be an advocate.
Like how?
Well, they're using social media and online platforms in really powerful ways.
Like to connect with each other.
Yes, and to amplify their voices.
Remember Valencia Thompson's hashtag?
Hashtag disability2white.
It sparked a huge conversation about representation and diversity.
Within the disability rights movement itself.
They're not afraid to challenge the status quo.
Even within their own community.
And they're doing it in such creative ways.
Using the tools and technology that are available to them.
It's not just about physical accessibility anymore.
No, it's about so much more.
It's about recognizing that disability intersects with all these other aspects of a person's identity.
Race, gender, sexual orientation, everything.
It's about intersectionality.
And it's about celebrating disability as part of human diversity.
That's a powerful vision.
It really is.
So as we look ahead, what do you see for the future of the disability rights movement?
I see the ADA generation leading the way.
How so?
Well, they're tech savvy, they're politically engaged, and they're comfortable being themselves.
They're not waiting for permission.
They're creating the world they want to see.
They're making their voices heard.
And they're demanding to be recognized.
It's inspiring.
Isn't it?
This sense that they're not content with the way things are.
They're pushing for real systemic change.
It's a reminder that progress takes time.
And that there will be setbacks and challenges.
But the fight for justice and equality continues.
The spirit of activism keeps this movement going.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the ADA, I'm lifted with a sense of hope.
Me too.
But also a sense of responsibility.
That we all have a role to play.
The ADA was a landmark achievement.
But it's an ongoing process.
It's up to each of us to challenge our own biases.
And to create a world where everyone can thrive.
What role will you play?
That's a question worth asking.
And answering?
Absolutely.